Derrick James. Errol Spence needs to be consistent. Terence Crawford has to be perfect to win. What's good, everybody? It's your boy, Cardinal Red Sports. Let's talk about it. Alright, y'all. So, Derrick James gave an interview after the interview yesterday, and he gave a few thoughts on what he thinks both fighters need to do to be victorious. And I wanted to break that down, give my 6 nickels on what he had to say for anybody listening.
Today is going to give him a little bit more fire. We have to be consistent. He has to be perfect.
All right, y'all. So what did Derrick James have to say? Basically, he said he feels like Errol Spence only needs to be consistent. Errol Spence has been winning at a high level. He's been dominating at a high level. The only question mark I've ever had about Errol Spence has been the Manny Pacquiao fight, but we'll leave that for another argument, another day. This is too big of an event. You know, tomorrow night is going down. And, you know, he said that Terence Crawford has to basically do what I've said in all these videos for the last 2 years, that he has to pitch a shutout.
Oh, Jesus!
He has to be perfect to win this fight. And I just, you know, want to break that down a little bit more. So what does he mean by Errol Spence only needs to be consistent?
We have to be consistent with who we've been. All these years, he has to be perfect. Because he punches with his eyes closed.
Listen, Errol Spence does what he does. He does it to the highest level. You know, I've never really, when I've watched Spence, I haven't watched all Spence's fights, but the majority of them that I have got to watch, I will say what he does, he is extremely consistent with it. He does it at a high level. He does it exactly when he's supposed to. He does it exactly how he's supposed to. He follows his game plan. He works everything off the jab.
You know, I ain't the smartest man in the world.
To me, what his coach is trying to say is that as long as he stays within his realm, as long as he does what he's always done, don't let nerves get the best of you, don't let the amount of money get the best of you, don't let the moment get the best of you. As long as he comes out and does what he always does, which is work everything off the jab, be assertive, be dominant, and never stop moving, then he most likely will come out the victor. Now, he said that Terence Crawford, on the other hand, Terence Crawford doesn't do everything perfect to him. He says that Terence Crawford has the tendency to throw punches blindly, like he throws a punch and closes his eyes. He says Terence Crawford has the tendency not to throw punches with power. He said Terence Crawford isn't everything that he's cracked up to be, basically. And, you know, I would say one thing. I have noticed that, you know, a lot of fighters do throw punches blinded. You know, they throw a punch and their eyes will be closed. I don't know if y'all noticed, Ryan Garcia does that a lot. And what happens is, if your opponent catches you doing that, he's going to eventually take advantage of it, and he's probably going to land something big and knock you out.
You got knocked the fuck out, man! Give me my goddamn money.
I think that's something that Derrick James and Errol Spence have been studying about, Terence Crawford's style and how he goes about his fights. And I'm thinking that that's something they're going to be looking to exploit when they can. Now, you know, does Crawford do anything perfect? Does he do anything at this point already in his boxing career perfect? I say he does a few things perfect. I say that he throws combinations exactly when he's supposed to. I think he conserves energy very well. I think he's one of those type of guys who his technique is very good. Like the way he throws a punch is right on point. It's very precise. You know, it's thrown with precision. And I think that, you know, he has a great ring IQ. You know, a lot of people don't get kudos or points for having a good ring IQ, but he has a great ring IQ. And, you know, I don't think he does power very well. And I think that's what Derrick James was trying to get at. I think he feels like since Errol Spence is so consistent, he does throw with power. He does work everything off the jab. most likely he's going to be able to break Terence Crawford down before Terence Crawford can break Errol Spence down. And if you can't get Spence to stop moving, 9 times out of 10, he's probably going to beat you.
Get in the car, dumbass!
And you're probably not going to be able to last until the 12th round, where his body is kind of built for this. You know, this is what he trains for. This is what his style of fighting is built for.
Oh! 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 Get some, boy! I don't give a Get some! Did you ever grab me by my motherfucking face like that again?
I think that's what Derrick James means by Terence Crawford has to be perfect, Errol Spence has to be consistent.
I mean, you know, it's pumped up. We 2 days away. My coach amped up. You know, he's been with me since day one, so he's ready to go. His coach amped up, been with him since day one. So it's a lot of tension going on right now. And I'm definitely going to release mine come fight night. Man down, I'm about to put him in the dirt.
And if you look at it from, you know, that standpoint, who's perfect and who's consistent, and you look at the past 2 or 3 fights that both guys have had, I think both of them have had some rocky moments. You know, Errol Spence had to come back off the car accident. I believe he fought Mikey or Danny, and then Mikey, or Mikey and then Danny. You know, one fight looked, you know, decent. The next fight looked better. The Ugas fight looked like he was back to his old self. If you look at Terence Crawford's last few fights, you know, the Kell Brook fight, and then the Sean Porter fight, and then the David Evansian fight. You know, the Kell Brook fight, I can't really give him points for that because Kell Brook was already kind of really broken down as a fighter. And I just don't think that was a good representation. I think there were other better fighters he could have been in the ring with at that time, so I kind of overlooked the Kell Brook fight. When it comes to the Sean Porter fight, it's almost the same thing because of the way it ended, their friendship. You know, Sean Porter didn't really look hurt when he was down on the ground and they threw in the towel, so it's kind of like a fight that you overlook. Then you got the David Evansian fight, and, you know, he knocked David Evansian out, but David Evansian's a nobody. There were plenty of other fighters he could have fought that were higher level and would have made him look a lot better, but he did score a knockout. So if you look at both guys' last 3 fights and you say who was, you know, perfect and who was more consistent, you have to say that Terence Crawford was a little more of himself, you know, just doing exactly what he's always done. So he would be more consistent. But if you look at Errol Spence's last performance and his fight before that, he looked damn near perfect for what he does. So if you base it off just those 2 aspects, you know, who was more consistent and who was more perfect, I actually disagree with Derrick James. I actually think Errol Spence already looks more perfect than Terence Crawford, and Crawford just always looks consistent.
I've always been listed in the phone book. I never had a bodyguard. The filthiest people on this planet is athletes and entertainers. You, with this show, have done more for the humanities than 99% of all the athletes and entertainers on the planet. But they've even tricked you to believe that you ain't nothing but doo-doo and they something big. They ain't nothing but a piece of shit, man. All of them.
But I'm going to leave it there for now. Y'all let me know what y'all think about all that down in the comment section below. That like button for me. Share, subscribe. Holler at me on all social media platforms, at Facebook, at Instagram, at YouTube, at Twitter. More than likely to get a response on the tube, so holler at me over there. If you want to collabo, feature a product or your channel on my channel, feel free to hit my Gmail because it is a flock of cards at gmail.com. And we are
Illuminati, want your mind, soul, and your body. You want a red bone hottie and a Maserati. Is that a fur trade? I was in 3rd grade, writing down mean. Now I'm as clean as your maid. Get these bitches wet, they some mermaids. Take a survey, they all prefer K. EYZ, still in the money. I'm a Louisville legend and I'm still in my 20s. Super cool, wind chill in the 20s, but I still pack heat. I can make it feel sunny. So you can rock a white beater when I'm mobbing through. But be safe and bring your coat and your toboggan too. I'm out of here. I'm out my mind. I'm out of here. from, nigga? I would clown your ass, but you can't get smart with a dumb nigga. Dumb nigga, I would shank your ass, but you can't knife fight with a gun, nigga. If Louis Keys did it, it's a damn banger. Tape on the 38 like a jam banger. To this rap shit, I ain't no damn stranger. They wanna throw me off the boat, but I'm the damn anchor. And my team ride clean, looking like tomato juice in my limousine. My eyeballs bloodshot are red. All eyes on Louis Keys, no hockery. I'm outta here. I'm on my mind. 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 I got voices in my head, voices in my head. They say, Keys, get that money, get that paper, get that bread. Don't be worrying about the cop, don't be worrying about the feds, don't be worrying about your wifey and the shit that she done said. That's 3 voices, 1 grind time 3. How the hell one nigga gonna outshine me? I said that's 3 voices, 1 grind time 3. How the fuck one nigga gonna outshine Keys? I'm outta here. I'm on my mind. I'm outta here.